Hey everyone, in this slide,
How to draw convincing FlipaClip characters.
more color, a little bit of color to our kitty cat, and giving him a little bit of a 3D look to him. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring the paint bucket as always, but what I'm gonna do is I'm going to duplicate this so I can keep a copy of it. So that's how you duplicate it. You tap the layers and then you can just go ahead and slide left on the layer, and you see this icon here that has like two papers, one behind the other. You tap it, it will duplicate and make a copy of your layer. So if you color in on one layer, you'll have the other layer preserved. As a matter of fact, what's gonna happen, I'm gonna go ahead and turn all these off and stay on the top layer is where I'm going to actually, to be able to see my line, I'm gonna turn layer number 2 on, and I'll be coloring on this layer here. Let me name it color update. So I'm going to be on the middle layer, and that's where I'm going to be coloring in. Bring the paint bucket, choose your color that you want. For this kitty cat, I'm going to use a little bit of a brightish yellow, orange yellow. It's going to be about there with an opacity of about 60%. Let me see what that looks like. No, that's not good. I want a color around. Still kind of good, but not exactly what I'm looking for. That's good. That's what I'm looking for. So with coloring, what I usually do, I do flats, color flats on a base kind of layer where I just go ahead and drop in my ink just like that. But I want this ink to cut through here. Oh, I'm gonna go get a pen first, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this part out like this because I want my ink to stay in those areas. So you have to make sure everything that you don't want to color is not closed in. Only the shapes that you want to color should be open. And it colored outside it, so I don't want that. I want just that to be colored. And what's gonna happen, I'm gonna go ahead and actually throw that in his tail as well. And yeah, that should be actually pretty good. I want his body to be a different color. I'm gonna think about that color for now, but let me go ahead and bring a brush. I usually use either the airbrush or actually even the highlighter itself to color. But I'm gonna go ahead and use the airbrush for this one. And this is where you can change the color for it. I want the eyedropper tool so I can get a color that is closer to what I have in there. And I'm gonna use that color right there. And this, I'm just gonna give him just a simple touch around his cheeks. You can see I'm still using my what do you call it? I think actually the paintbrush is not the best for that, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a crayon. I'm still using my shape tool. I'm still using the shapes tool even at the coloring phase in order for me to have things consistent. So I'm going to put that at around 11, a little bit big. I'm going to put it on this other side. Oops. this other side. Just want to make sure they're both identical. Get rid of that. Shade in here a little bit. So you see why I have 3 layers and I'm painting on a layer in between. So I want this ink to be on top of my colors. So he looks good there on the cheeks with those on him. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the platform he's sitting on and the guitar first at this point. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this paint bucket again, and I'm gonna use a little bit of a wooden color on the guitar. That's good. That is good. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little bit darker to shade this part of the guitar in. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Alright, and this other part here I'm actually gonna make black. So I'll go actually bring back my pen, and I'll add a little bit of dimension here on this part. I can do that by hand, it's no biggie. There you go. Just trying to make things look a little bit more interesting. All this counts finally for the visuals of how your character is gonna look like. So that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and bring the paint bucket again, and I'm gonna choose this color. So this is how you use the eyedropper tool. You go ahead and tap in the color, and the eyedropper tool is gonna be, you see where the circle is, but above it, that little tool is a paint dropper tool. So now I chose the color that I want, and with the paint bucket I'm gonna fill these lines in here. I want them to be filled with that wooden kind of color. And oops, not there, but right there in that little patch. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So now I'm gonna go ahead and paint his far in, which I want it to be white. So I'm gonna go and get an absolute white color. This is the #1 reason why I like drawing on canvases that are kind of that color right there. I talked about this in the first video. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint his far in white. I'm gonna make these little shapes on here white as well. And I'll go get a reddish pink. Now let me actually use about that color for his platform he's sitting on. There you go, that looks awesome. Make it a little bit darker for this other part here. Oops, that's not what I wanted, but come on, 3 fingers to redo. And there you go. So that looks, that looks pretty good. I like that part. I'm gonna go ahead now and put in highlights and shades in order to give him even more dimension to look even better. So we're gonna go ahead and start to do that. But before I do that, actually let me paint the eyes in. I'm gonna give him blue greenish eyes with the paint bucket still. Those look good. So now in the next step, we're gonna go ahead and put shadows in and highlights in order to give him a little bit more dimension. So that's gonna be the next video. But thank you so much for watching this one, and I hope to be back again in the next one.